was driving to work this morning, I was listening to another radio station, as we broadcasters sometimes do. What I heard shocked and saddened me.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They're here, nerds.
Wait, is this the group that goes around mutilating squirrels?
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Well, at least we found them. Fortuitous, Captain. And now that we have them all together,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They make one person go, blah, 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 and the other person go, what are you talking about? And then one person goes, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome into a Saturday morning or evening, as the case may be, depending on when you might be listening to the show this weekend. Its two airings this weekend are going to be Saturday morning, 5 a.m., Sunday evening at 7 p.m., Saturday evening at 7 p.m., Sunday afternoon, the noontime show, unfortunately, going to get preempted because of coverage of the Daytona 500, which, by the way, probably one Ryan will be listening or watching, I'm sure. Won't you there, Ryan?
At least for Danica, yes.
Yeah, just to find out what she does. That said, I'm Steve West. I'm the host of the Entertainment Roundtable. You just heard Ryan. Jeff over there running the board. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Wondrous. Dave, not in studio, but he is on the phone. We appreciate you being able to join us here on this weekend show. Dave, how are you?
Oddly electrified.
Well, there you go. Is it because you're out of town or what? Somebody sitting there with an electrical cattle prod or something like that?
No, I'm just on the phone, so.
Oh, okay. So
I'm totally electrified this week, Steve.
He's just a happy guy.
He is merely digital information.
Yeah, I guess. I have heard from Jacob. Jacob not able to check in with us this week, but he has given me his review of Robocop. Josh feeling a little bit under the weather, said otherwise he would have been here, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. So welcome into the show. Hope everything is going well with you. And let's see, just mentioned it just a couple of moments ago. Jacob and I went to go see Robocop. Ryan, remind me of your review. What was your ultimate rating for Robocop last week?
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay. Have you seen anything since then?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. Jeff, I'll ask. You had mentioned the fact that you and the nephews sometime this weekend probably going to get to finally go see the Lego movie?
Yes. Finally? Finally, everyone is healthy and schedules have aligned.
I gotcha. So you haven't been able to check out anything else since this, have you?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. That said, you probably have checked out something old. What?
Oh, just, rewatch some old movies, that kind of stuff. I haven't watched anything recent, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Game of Thrones, I've been watching that. I got the third season.
Yeah? And you're liking it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great.
Well,
Game of Thrones, man. It's fantastic.
I have yet to actually watch an episode. It's kind of like American Idol for me. I have yet to watch an episode.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones.
And, Dave, I'll go ahead and ask, have you had the chance to see anything?
I did get to see Anchorman 2, finally.
Oh, did you? All right. Tell you what, since it's been a while since we've talked about Anchorman 2, give us your thoughts on Anchorman 2.
I think it was better than the first one. It was stupid, but it was completely funny. So, I mean, I'll put it to you like this. In the theater where I went to see it, there was a group of people, and they had a baby that was just crying the entire time. And usually that's enough to ruin a movie for me, but even though it was annoying, I still laughed my butt off the entire time.
Okay, so you're able to get past the annoying crying baby throughout the entire film, and you had a good time. What's the ultimate rating on it?
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
You went higher than I did. I gave it a 5.
that doesn't make sense.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Dave. All right, let's get into the top 10 here. And a lot of money spent at movie theaters over the weekend when the top 5 films all make more than $10 million. And quite frankly, the top 8 all make more than $8 million. It's a good weekend to be running cinema. In at number 10, That Awkward Moment, $3.8 million, 28.9. Don't think that's going to be around much longer. Looks like we've about seen the last leg of Lone Survivor, $4 million. 118.4, though, very respectable for that film. Frozen, while sitting at number 8, made $8 million. This thing has cranked out $378.3 million, and this is as of last Tuesday. Winter's Tale, rather lackluster debut, In at number 7, $8.1 million. Ryan, you had said this was not getting great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes?
No, it wasn't.
Do you know what it's sitting at now?
I believe it's between 16-18%, but I believe that number has changed.
Up or down?
I think it's less now.
That's not good. It doesn't have very far to fall. Right along, we're going to be talking about this film a little bit more here in our movie news segment. Another $8.7 million, so $116.1 million for the comedy, doing very big numbers here. Endless Love debuts at number 5 with $13.2 million. I have not heard one good review on this film. Anything, Ryan, from anyone that you've heard of that would say that this is anything other than a really bad remake of a fairly cheesy 1980s film?
Nothing but crickets.
Nothing but crickets. Have you seen what this thing is rated on Rotten Tomatoes?
Actually, no, I don't know the number for this one.
Jeff, I think, does.
Yeah, it's sitting at 14%.
14%.
Which is 1 point above A Winter's Tale.
Oh
13.
my gosh, Winter's Tale's down to 13.
Yes.
Wow. Smack.
The warm and fuzzies again this week.
No kidding. Up to number 4, The Monuments Men, doing pretty good. Another $18 million, 46.7 for it. Then you get the debut of Robocop, $25.6 million over the weekend, keeping in mind that this actually debuted a couple of days before the Friday, Saturday, Sunday release date, so it's made $30.5 million overall. Well, I'll go ahead and give you Jacob's quick review of it. Jacob and I walked out of the film. We looked at each other and we said, I like it. And then looked at each other and said, but I can't really tell you why. It was better than the first, in the fact that obviously what you're looking, I mean, okay, let me put it this way. Visually, it was better than the first one. How's that? Obviously, we've made leaps and bounds when it comes to visual effects and things like that. So visually, it was better than the first one. My biggest complaint, and Jacob, I think, echoed this, the two lead actors, Kinnaman, Joel Kinnaman, and the lady who played his wife. And
Abby Cornish.
Abby Cornish. I don't know whether they were directed to do this or what, but even when he was human, he showed so little emotion, it was like watching a board. She didn't show much more to me. When she was mad, she had one face. When she was sad, she had the same face. The only thing that made it different was the fact that a tear rolled down her cheek. I was really kind of hoping for a little more emotion out of the two of them. Samuel L. Jackson's character, while it's Samuel L. Jackson trying to portray a character, he does a decent job at being a very ticked-off cable news kind of host. I think he did a fine job on that. Gary Oldman, I think, really kind of carried it for the most part. He really does a very good job in this. And nice little twist there with when you're dealing with your lead characters. It's actually pretty cool. Michael Keaton, I will give kudos to him. It's a very nice comeback for him. It's been a while since we've seen him in anything. So it's very, overall, it's not that it's a bad film. It's a good film. It's not a great film. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Jacob gave it a 7 out of 10. Ryan, you gave it an 8. So we're all, in the general area. It's not bad for an early part of the year, but I kind of understand why this was released in January and February of the year instead of going in and waiting until you got into the Mays and the Junes and the Julys. It's not a film that's going to stand up against the big blockbuster films that'll come out at that point in time. But overall, not bad. You're looking for action. You remember the first one fondly. You're not going to walk out of this going, you hate it. You might not like it as much as the first one. But again, visually, it is better than the first one. That brings us up to the debut of About Last Night. Comes in at number 2 at $28.5 million. Apparently, it was liked by enough people. What's this thing doing? And is it getting decent reviews out there, Jeff? I mean, you're looking at Rotten Tomatoes.
76%.
So people are liking it.
It's fresh.
Okay. And this is kind of a remake, or reimagining, if you will, of a film from the 1980s. Entirely different cast and a different look at it. So apparently it's made some waves. So good for them. And then the film that Jeff is going to get to go see this weekend at some point in time with his nephews, the Lego Movie. Second week in a row, number 1. Another $63.1 million. And that backs up, what did it make in this opening weekend? It was like almost 70?
Yeah, it was. I believe it was like 69.8 or 9 million, something like that.
So this thing barely fell off. This thing didn't even fall off 5% from one weekend to the next.
Yep.
That's impressive.
It's a beast.
It is. $143.8 million in only its second weekend out there. And I can tell you why. It is actually quite funny. Be interested to see how your nephews look at it, Jeff. I kind of get the funny feeling, I know.
Yeah,
Your nephews are the curious ones for me. All right, coming out this weekend, only two big films. There's several of them that are in limited release. We'll get to that in a moment. But in wide release, as we go in quasi-alphabetical/numerical order, you've got 3 Days to Kill, starring Kevin Costner, Haley Steinfeld, and Amber Heard, movie about an elite government hitman who has gotten word that he has a terminal disease. Initially makes the decision to give up the life to reconnect with his estranged wife and child. However, the government might have an offer he can't refuse.
They made a movie about my life.
Well, there you go, David. I have to admit, I'm kind of interested in seeing this film. I'm not expecting a whole lot of stuff out of it, but I'm kind of interested in seeing the film. Anybody else?
Maybe one day.
Okay. It's not really a big priority for you, Jeff. Dave?
No.
No? Ryan?
Based on the reviews I've heard, I'm like, you know what? This is more of a red box for
What
me.
you hearing?
I'm hearing it's got like a, what is it? Like a 32% rating.
Hey, better than Winter's Tale and Endless Love combined.
He's right. It's at 28.
28%.
Yeah.
Like I said, combined, you can't get that number out of Winter's Tale and Endless Love. So, hey.
Right.
We're automatically in better position. And then there's Pompeii. This stars Kit Harington, Emily Browning, and Kiefer Sutherland in the fake love story set into the backdrop of the real-life eruption of the Mediterranean volcano
Vesuvius.
Thank you. I was trying to spit that out, and my mind wouldn't get my mouth to work it. So that's out there. I might check it out just for the ultimate destruction side of things, but I don't know as I'm expecting a whole lot. What is this thing seeing or getting, Ryan?
I think it's getting even worse reviews than 3 Days to Kill.
All right. We've got Jeff taking a look at it.
Looks like it's actually trending a little better, 31%.
31%.
Right now.
Wow, nothing really getting people here this time, except for Lego Movie.
And
really.
again, this is still early on, so there probably will still be some more reviews coming in, and we'll see how they shake out.
It'll be interesting to see how this is by the time we get to it next week.
What's so weird is like Pompeii has had so much positive buzz around it, like coming up to this point,
which I don't understand.
What have you been hearing, Dave?
I just keep hearing that it's going to be like the movie of the year, and
what are we
now
expecting?
Suddenly, it's just not.
What are they hoping this was going to be like another Titanic? Because I mean, even releasing this film at this time of the year would automatically tell me this thing's going to get nowhere near the kind of money that the Titanic made.
Oh yeah, I mean, people just not like it's going to be a Titanic, but that it's just going to be some epic tale, and this is just people who are just excited about it that I know, and people on the internet that I read who are just really excited about it, and now it's all just falling apart on them.
See, to me, I look at the previews of this, and I've seen it on television, we've seen it in movie theaters. To me, it looks like a special effects blockbuster, but I'm not so sure that the plot's really going to hold up to what the visuals are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it never really interested me, so I can't really.
Like I said, the main reason I would go see it is to see their depiction of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Hey, I actually got that out, Jeff.
Yay, he can be taught.
I can be, yes. I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Oh, I was done.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I kind of agree with you. For me, it's going for the visual effects. I wouldn't be going to see the storyline necessarily, so I don't know. Anybody else interested in this at all?
Free preview weekend.
Free preview weekend for Ryan, Jeff?
The first time I saw the trailer,
I
was interested for it, and then I saw it was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, and I immediately decided, nope, not anymore.
What is it about Paul W.S. Anderson that makes you automatically say no?
Pretty much everything's done.
What? Resident Evil is awesome.
I'm going to have to side with Jeff on this. I'm pretty sure like most of the buzz that came from the movie that I've read was because people thought it was Paul Thomas Anderson.
But it's not.
No, not quite. Okay. Well, and again, don't get me wrong. I think that this is a film that's going to make money because I think there are a lot of people that are out there that are kind of like me. They want to go see the depiction of how they do the eruption. But at that point in time, you're going to see whether the story holds up. 3 Days to Kill, for some reason, there's a part of me that says Pompeii probably makes more money than 3 Days to Kill.
Well, since it's W.S. Anderson, when it erupts, zombies are just going to come out.
Hey, zombies back in Asian. Hey, that could be good.
It's an eruption
I
caused
actually would go see that. Now.
If
to clarify,
if the eruption was caused by a predator,
right,
setting off his wrist bomb, sure.
Wow, really? Holy cow. Out in limited release, if you're so interested, you could check your local listings, make sure that it's playing near you. A movie called Barefoot, which stars Evan Rachel Wood, Scott Speedman, and J.K. Simmons. A movie called Elaine Stritch, Shoot Me, which stars Elaine Stritch. A movie called In Secret, which stars Elizabeth Olsen and Jessica Lange. Let's see, 2 other movies in limited release, Omar and The Wind Rises. I don't know as any of these are going to be playing locally, truth be told. What'd you find?
Oh, The Wind Rises, that's the new Miyazaki film. And
bless you.
I believe that's going to be his last. He's supposedly retiring.
He's retiring. Yeah, that's true, too. When I looked at this, I noticed a lot of names that I went, there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce those. Heck, I couldn't get Vesuvius out to begin the show. God, so sad. Out in theaters next week, nonstop. This is Liam Neeson. Then you've got Son of God and a movie called The Bagman. The Bagman's actually got quite a number of names in it. Son of God, if you remember the History Channel's miniseries, The Bible, this is a slimmed-down version that only deals with the portions that are obviously deal with Jesus, the Son of God. So that's what that is. We'll be talking about those next week. Probably we'll end up going to see it because I do want to see how they edited out and what they left in and what they left out from the Bible miniseries, which I was actually a very big fan of. We're going to be talking reboots. We're going to be talking sequels. Of course, we're going to have a superhero section and something actually quasi-new when we get into movie news. That's coming up next. You're listening to the Entertainment Roundtable, Superstation 101 WYDE.
They do all their own stunts. The Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
Welcome back in, listening to the Entertainment Roundtable, and as we often do, we will come back
Poets often use many
and we'll pick a song from a soundtrack to either a new movie or a movie that's currently out. Couldn't find anything worth playing off of either Pompeii or 3 Days to Kill. So I started flipping back through and came across the classic Frank Sinatra song, Fly Me to the Moon.
Just a second, I thought this should have become a piano bar.
Yeah, really. Any thought as to what film this might be off of? And Ryan, you're not eligible.
Robocop.
It is off of Robocop, strangely enough. And it's very early in the film. It's well done. A nice way of moving it in there. And then, funny thing is not all of these songs are on the soundtrack that you could buy if you were so inclined. But afterwards, it gets into kind of a rockin' soundtrack. It's not bad if they would actually put all the rockin' songs on the soundtrack that they released. So there you go. All right, here we go. From Robocop to the Terminator, and Ryan, we're starting with you. They want to reboot the Terminator franchise. We've been talking about this for a while, Ryan. You found out some casting news. Specifically, they apparently have the guy that they want for the character of Kyle Reese.
Yes, they do for this Terminator reboot. If you remember A Good Day to Die Hard, as well as the television show Spartacus, Jay Courtney is going to take on the role of Kyle Reese in this reboot. He makes the third actor to play this character in the series, following Michael Biehn back in the original Terminator film, as well as Anton Yelchin in Terminator Salvation.
Any thoughts as to this?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, so we got one that's okay. Dave?
I just keep losing interest.
It keeps going downhill for Dave. Jeff,
I just keep
anything?
thinking there's no way I can lose more interest in the Terminator reboot, and then it happens again.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is okay. I think the only thing I've actually seen him in, he was the bad guy in Jack Reacher. That's about it. Or one
he
of
was,
them.
wasn't he?
So,
okay.
Whatever.
Do we have the lead characters here on this? Have they been cast?
Yes, they have. Jason, as well as Amelia Clarke, are going to take on the roles of, John and Sarah Connor, and it's going to be directed by Alan Taylor, who gave us Thor: The Dark World. It's going to hit theaters everywhere on July the 1st of 2015.
Okay, so they're going to release it in the big blockbuster time of that year when this, I can see one of two things on this. This thing's actually going to do very well, or this thing is going to get killed. It's there. I don't see any middle ground here.
Yeah, next summer
It's gonna get killed.
I think it's DOA next summer.
I'm afraid you're right, because so many people. I mean, it's not that old. All of us here, either we were alive or we just remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger version of the Terminator so well that I think trying to go back and restart it might be a non-starter. I'm thinking this one might get killed, but you never know. I might be surprised by it.
I keep thinking of the word tank for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, well, you might be right there. From a reboot to a sequel, and we were just talking about it a little bit earlier, movies still doing top 10 money. We noted it just a bit ago. Ryan, what's going on with Ride Along? What are they talking about here?
They are officially moving ahead with a sequel that are going to be Team Ice Cube as well as Kevin Hart, and they're aiming for a potential summer of 2015 release date.
Phew, they want to put that in summer of 2015? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's making money now, but it's kind of got the market to itself when you think about it. When it starts to go into the summer of 2015, there's going to be a whole lot of options out there. I'm not so certain that's the smartest move they could make.
Yeah, I agree.
And I still haven't seen the first one, although, correct me if I'm wrong, was it AJ Jeff that said that he went and saw this and he really liked it?
And which one was that?
Ride Along?
Yes, he liked it a lot.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And again, I really like Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart is funny as all get out. I'm just thinking that putting it in the summer of 2015 might not be the best move for them. I don't know. We'll see. David, we go to you, and we go over to another sequel, the long-rumored Beetlejuice 2. The man who played the undead character lead, Michael Keaton, he's decided to announce the participation, or lack thereof, of director Tim Burton. What's Keaton saying?
During a press junket for Robocop, they asked him about Beetlejuice, and he says that he's emailed Tim a couple of times, Tim Burton, and talked to the writer a couple of times, but it's all really, really preliminary. He always says the one thing that he'd like to go back and do again, but it required Tim to be involved in some way or another. But now it looks like Tim is involved.
Okay, so if Tim is involved, does that mean Michael Keaton comes back to reprise Beetlejuice?
Yes.
But if Tim's not involved, Keaton's out?
Yeah, that's it.
That'd be the only way I'd go see it if it was Keaton, because he kind of embodied the character. I don't know if I could picture anybody else portraying that character.
If I could only have one, I would take Keaton, because Burton hasn't been good in years.
I agree with that one.
Well, yeah, but... Oh, man, I don't know. Jeff, anything on this?
I'm indifferent to the whole thing, to be honest with you.
I mean,
just can't muster up a lot of concern.
I know, but when I think about the original Beetlejuice, I mean, this is Tim Burton's. This is what he's best at. It's that kind of dark comic humor thing going on, and Michael Keaton portrayed the character so well. I don't know as I could. It's kind of like Terminator without James Cameron. It's kind of like.
The only thing I think that would make me interested to see it is if they somehow brought in Johnny Depp as like Beetlejuice's brother or something.
Well, that would be interesting.
I would like them to bring in Alec Baldwin again and have fun with that. Oh, yeah.
A much
they bring
older
in Alec
and
Baldwin,
fatter Alec Baldwin. No, here's what you do. You bring in Alec Baldwin at the beginning, you have Beetlejuice kill him.
Well, he's already dead.
He's already dead. He's a ghost.
All right.
Well, they both are.
I mean, just take him out, period. There's got to be a way that you can kill an undead person. I mean, hell, you can kill a zombie, right?
Yeah, but they're corporeal, man.
I don't care. Figure it out. Figure out a way to just make him vanish off into the vapors and throw, part of him over to the corner of the universe and another part of him over to another.
I mean, Beetlejuice got eaten by a giant worm and had his head shrunken.
That's true.
I don't know. If to kill Alec Baldwin, we have to acknowledge him, it's not worth it.
That is true, too. And let's face it, it's not like number one, it's not like he needs the money. Number two, it's not like we really need to see him. I don't know. We're going to see. So this thing is preliminary stages. They haven't even got a script then, is what I'm kind of believing on this, Dave.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. A few months ago, it all seemed like it was much more developed than it turns out it is.
Okay. So at the earliest, considering special effects and everything, probably to be done half decently, it's probably a 2016 film if they started right now.
Yeah, but the way it's going, I'd probably say it's not going to happen. That's just my thought.
Yeah, might be right. Let's step into our superhero section here real quick, and we start this off by talking about the just-released trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll get around to everybody else, but the man who actually was the most excited about this when the news finally came down they were making a film about it is Jeff. You've been the biggest supporter of this so far on the show. Let's get your thoughts first of the teaser trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I tell you, I think I was very pleased. I think they're hitting the right tone with it. It's not taking itself too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's got just that nice little edge of that little bit of snark and sarcasm that you can feel. And have you seen the poster they released as well?
I just saw it earlier today.
From the studio that brought you Iron Man, Thor, the Avengers, and then at the bottom it says, "You're welcome." I mean, they're striking the perfect tone with this, and I'm happy about it. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to.
So this whets your appetite just that much more.
Absolutely.
All right. And when does this officially come out?
August.
Okay. Ryan, we go to you. What's your thoughts?
I will say this. Interesting characters. Borderline. I don't know. I got to be honest. This is a huge risk that Marvel's taking here because all I saw was comedy. I didn't see 1 ounce of seriousness in this trailer, which kind of worries me a little bit. I'm wondering, is it all going to be comedy with nothing serious in this film whatsoever, or are they going to take at least some of this seriously? Because I like the mixture of the seriousness with a little bit of comedy, but not too much, because if you do too much comedy, you're going to lose me anyway.
Okay,
but,
so what you're waiting for is you're waiting for trailer number 2.
Pretty much. I mean, I thought the trailer was okay, but it was really weird, bizarro. I mean, I do like Rocket Raccoon kicking tail and taking names with Groot. Star-Lord, I think, is Chris Pratt. This is his year. He's the Mac. He's the man, but I don't know. I got to wait for trailer number 2, but I'm going to see this film no matter what because I want to see if this risk that Marvel is about to take pays off.
Okay, David, you seen it?
Oh yes.
Okay, and what you're thinking?
I disagree with Ryan. I think in between the comedy bits, I felt like they needed the comedy to sell the characters to some degree. Same time, like all of the action in between the comedy bits in the trailer really sells it as there is going to be something very serious going on in the movie. If the movie holds up to the trailer, this just might be my favorite movie of all time.
Wow. Interesting.
That's how I've seen the trailer like 12 times.
I've watched it a bunch too.
And giggled like a child every time.
All right, and that brings it to me, and I agree with Jeff. I think that they've hit upon a pretty good way of introducing these characters to us. You've got the attitude that's in there. Obviously, we found it in Star-Lord if you watch throughout the rest of it. And to me, the line that gets me and probably helps define this the best is that when they talk about his real name, and then he goes by the name Star-Lord, and the guy looks at one of the others and goes, well, who calls him that? He does. I mean, that shows that shows the kind of attitude that you're kind of going to get out of this. You're trying to get in a bunch of people who are of a disparate nature and not exactly maybe as clean spoken as certainly nowhere near the shiny Captain America character that we've got. I'm noticing a little bit of Tony Stark in here with the kind of the attitude that they're bringing in, but they also bring kind of a darkness to it that we've seen out of, Black Widow. For some reason, that was all I could think of was Scarlett Johansson, which not necessarily a bad thing.
Darn it.
Yeah. So this is a good way to introduce the characters because for people, someone like me, who I had mentioned to you, and I've said this many, many times, Jeff, you're kind of opening my eyes to this. I had never even known about Guardians of the Galaxy. And now I feel like I've actually been introduced to the characters, but I am like Ryan. I'm very interested to see where they're going to go with the second trailer. But now I've got my appetite really, really ravenous for that second trailer. I really want to know where they're going to go and how much they're going to give us. I don't think that this is going to be all comedy. I don't see how it can be, especially if they're going to try and bring these guys into the pantheon that we know of, even if they're kind of fringe, of the Avengers.
Well, that's the thing. We haven't even seen Glenn Close at all.
Right.
Michael Rooker's character, he's blue with a red mohawk.
That's going to be real interesting to see Michael Rooker.
There's like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 big characters we haven't really even seen yet. So.
I mean, they were very right. This is little more than a teaser trailer, but it does do a very good job of introducing the people that we're going to be following as our heroes in the course of this film. trailer number 2 ought to be very, very intriguing. And if this is coming out in August, I would say probably we're at the end of February now. We're probably going to see one in about a month, maybe 6 weeks tops, and we'll probably see trailer number 2.
When's Cap coming out?
4/14.
I will say this, one of my favorite things about this trailer is that they kind of turn the idea of the superhero movie on its head a little bit with they show the epic shot of all of them together, and the leader of the group is yawning.
That's true, too. Yeah, that's true, too. But, yeah, Cap comes out, and I know this quite well because it's my favorite number 4/14/14. So
cool.
I would say probably we're going to get trailer number 2 at the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier. I'm thinking it's going to be right about that time.
I just can't wait, man. I can't wait for all this Marvel stuff. I'm even really back on board with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm good.
As long as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. continues what they started when they left off here a couple of weeks ago, when they've taken a couple of weeks off, obviously, because of the Olympics. When they kick back up, which I think happens Tuesday, I'm going to be very interested to see if they live up to the promise that they said, you know what, we're going to get ourselves much more involved in the Marvel universe, and we will actually be more involved with what you know of as you've seen the movies. So if they live up to that, they're going to bring me back in. I've got one foot out the door. I want to bring the other foot back in because I want to be a humongous supporter of this show, but they're going to have to fight for it, and I think a lot of other people agree with that.
What's funny is that Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, I think, was good enough to, pull me along weeks of mediocrity.
So, David is that satisfied.
No, just kill off Skye and we'll be good to go.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see what
kill
they do.
Kill her off, man.
I don't know whether they will or not. I'm kind of fairly convinced that they won't.
I don't know. She's such a bad character in my eyes.
Well, here's the thing. They've got a lot of I understand we're kind of going down the TV road here, but since we're talking superheroes, we'll do it. They really haven't developed any of the characters except for, obviously, our leader. All the other characters have been highly underdeveloped.
I actually disagree. I think they're really bringing Skye along with the whole storyline of what she is and who she is. And
they probably developed her the
really
most.
Developing May pretty well.
I would say they've developed Skye probably the best, but I just think that they're all still very underdeveloped.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we're 13 episodes in. I mean, if you look at most TV shows, 13 episodes in, they're not developed. And in the case of, things like Star Trek, The Next Generation, they don't even develop those characters in the 7 years they had. I'm good with the character development. They should, hit up Ward a little bit more. But the two science, Fitz and Simmons, they're pretty well developed, actually. They've actually had some really good episodes where they developed them well.
Fitz and Simmons are probably, and they've been able to make them a little bit more serious. But at the outset, Fitz and Simmons were the comic relief of the show. But I'm glad that they haven't stuck them in that niche. So that's a good thing. All right, let's continue with our superhero section. Ryan, let's go to you and talk about news of the casting of the rebooted Fantastic Four. Who's stepping into these roles?
Yes, sir. For this reboot that they're trying to do in Fox in their Marvel Cinematic Universe, you have Jamie Bell taking on the role of Ben Grimm, known as The Thing. Michael B. Jordan is taking on the role of the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. You have Miles Teller taking on the role of Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic. And you have Kate Mara taking on the role of Sue Storm, a.k.a. Invisible Woman. It's going to be directed by Josh Trank from Chronicle. It's going to hit theaters everywhere on June the 19th of 2015.
Kate Mara, We Are Marshall?
That and she's on House of Cards. Or no, her sister's on House of Cards, excuse me.
Kate Mara. See, I'm trying to place the girl that I know from We Are Marshall into the role that Jessica Alba played. Not that she defined the role, but let's face it, she's the one that portrayed it. I'm actually okay with Kate Mara. I can deal with that. I don't have a big problem with the casting, especially Michael B. Jordan. I think he'll do a fine job in that role. I'll just be very interested to see how the storyline goes. When are they trying to get this thing out?
On June the 19th, 2015. As far as the casting goes, I mean, clearly they're going for an origin story when they were in high school, college-age type deal, so they're starting from the very beginning. Plus, they want actors who are young enough to stay on board for at least 10 to 15 years. And I understand that, but at the same time, look at the picture. Michael B. Jordan, what's going on here? Sue and Johnny Storm are brother and sister. Obviously, they're going to introduce an adopted brother-sister angle around this. So that's going to anger a lot of people, a lot of different kind of fans. But I'm still interested to see this movie. I'm going to go see it. But this cat scene is, I mean, I'm okay with it at the end of the day, but some of it is questionable.
I don't know as Michael B.
I don't
Jordan,
like it at all.
I don't know as Michael B. Jordan's going to be around long enough. I think he's kind of got his star on the rise. I don't know if he's going to be willing to stick around for more than for a decade or more doing this character. I think he might be more than willing to float on to something else.
Yeah, I wish Fox or Sony or whoever's doing Fantastic Four these days would just let the franchise float back to Marvel anyway, because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
with any of their
right
franchises.
All right, we got a couple more things here, and then we'll switch over to television here. David, we continue with you. News about director Ron Howard. Obviously has experience in taking a previously animated feature into a live-action movie. He did this with How the Grinch Stole Christmas and apparently is set to do it again. It's a movie probably likely best known as a Disney animated film. Tell me about this.
Yeah, Ron Howard is now in talks to direct and produce Warner Brothers live-action adaptation of The Jungle Book. Now, here's the weird thing, though. Their previous director, Alejandro Inarritu or whatever, left the film last month. Howard's involvement will keep Warner Brothers from falling behind Disney, who's also producing a live adaptation of The Jungle Book with Jon Favreau.
Dueling
That's
Jungle
how bad
Books?
the reboot wars have gotten.
Dueling Jungle Books.
Why do we need one, much less two of these?
If Disney was smart, they would just stick their animated one in the theaters the same weekend as the live action one, not spend any extra money.
Yeah, why not? All right, whatever. One more thing, and something that might actually be considered at least quasi-new, David. You've learned about a new low-budget project being led by the creator of the popular show Walking Dead. His name is Robert Kirkman. Tell me about the movie, what it's about.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a sci-fi movie called Air with Norman Reedus and Jaimin Hansu. And they play two custodial workers struggling to maintain a cryogenic facility whose residents are meant to restore society following nuclear disaster.
So these two are going to be in charge of repopulating the Earth. Why do I get the funny feeling this may end up kind of sliding into sci-fi comedy?
That's the way it seems. Kirkman is producing with David Alpert, who also executive produces The Walking Dead, though. Sony is in the final negotiations to get the picture.
Oh, you know you're going to get a zombie out of this. It's just bound. All right. When do they want to try and get this thing out?
There's no release date.
So they haven't even started on this. Okay. When we come back, we'll be talking about movies that you can take home, and there's actually a few big names that we're going to be talking about, and we'll get into some TV news. Not a whole lot of TV news this week. Kind of strange, but we'll get to what we've got when we come back.
Hope you got your popcorn, because we're back to the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
Welcome back in, listening to the Entertainment Roundtable, coming back to the classic Tonight Show music, and that will come into play here in just a couple of minutes as we get into TV news and talk about NBC. First things first, when it comes to Blu-ray, if you choose to add to your collection in home movies, several big money films are available this week, including an Amazon.com exclusive for Harry Potter fans. It's a set that they're terming the Hoggwarts collection. Do we know exactly what all's in there, Ryan?
Well, we know that it's all films on Blu-ray as well as DVD and digital HD with over 45 hours worth of bonus features.
How much is this thing going to run?
Oh, gosh. What is it, like I don't know, $700? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't have the number in front of me, unfortunately.
Good night. Then you've got the movie Gravity, the George Clooney, Sandra Bullock film. I'll be getting this. Ryan, I think you'll be getting it. Jeff?
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
No doubt. Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you got, well, we've been talking about Marvel for quite a while now. How about Thor: The Dark World comes out on Tuesday as well. Plus, you've got the Oscar-nominated film Nebraska and a movie called Blue is the Warmest Color. It's a Swedish film, I think. For TV series collectors, might be interested in Season 3 of Adventure Time, which I've never heard of.
Mathematical.
Oh.
Finn and Jake. I like that cartoon.
Do you? Okay. Season 3 of Mama's Family, as we go back all the way to the offshoot of the Carol Burnett show. or you could get season 4 of The Middle, which is out there. Ryan, one other DVD note. You have come across some news about the upcoming Blu-ray release of The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. What do you know?
We know that it is going to hit DVD and Blu-ray on April the 8th. There's going to be a special limited collector's edition with the Blu-ray 3D, the Blu-ray, and the DVD, and all that wonderful stuff. Behind-the-scenes footage with director Peter Jackson himself, as well as a music video for the song that was featured in the film or on the soundtrack, mind you, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
April what?
It's on April the 8th.
Okay. Probably will go check it out, because this was better than the first Hobbit. I will say that.
I'm just gonna hang out till the holiday time when they release the,
And you're probably right. I might be willing to just wait, because at some point in time they'll probably come out with the extended release with the big old, fancy box set and all that kind of stuff.
Even more Hobbity.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to TV news, excuse me. And David, we're going to start with you and the Fox Network. Their upcoming Gotham series, the show that's set to concentrate on the origins of Commissioner Gordon and a very young pre-Batman Bruce Wayne. They are continuing to add to the cast. Who they got now, Dave?
They've added Jada Pinkett Smith playing Fish Mooney, an original character for the show, who's a sadistic gangster boss and nightclub owner with an almost extrasensory ability to read people like an open book.
Okay, Ryan, you also submitted this. Dave got it first, which is why he ended up talking about it. But you seem to have something that you wanted to say about this.
Well, I just thought, it's never a mistake to add talent. Granted, I don't know if this character was featured in the comic books or not, but then again, I'm all for bringing in new characters or characters we may never even heard of. But, in the beginning, I was against this whole Gotham business, but at the same time, with all the casting and everything else surrounding it, when I see the trailer, I think I may give it a shot.
I'm thinking I'm going to be watching it. The question is whether it's going to be good enough to keep me.
Yeah, because we already have a DC show that's kicking tail and taking a lot of names, and that's called Arrow.
Yeah.
They have me with Donald Logue. I'm going to tune in just for him.
You mentioned something about Donald Logue, too, Dave. What was that?
He was talking about how his character is going to be really fast and loose with morals and rules, and how that's going to be pretty much the complete conflict between him and Gordon in the show. But he also went into talking about how the show is going to be a lot like, it's going to feel like they're in the Roaring 20s, but then also it's going to feel like Blade Runner. About how it's sort of independent of time and space.
Sounds like they're sort of going Art Deco animated series design-wise.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, and that sounds exciting to me.
Me too. The more I hear about this, the more I'm like, hey, I'm actually getting more interested.
Yeah. Fall 2014, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Or no, I take that back. We talked about this last week. They actually, despite all the casting news, they actually have yet to pick this up officially?
No, it has a full series order.
Oh, okay. All right.
They have picked
good.
it up, yeah.
All right, good. At least we know that. All right, the aforementioned NBC and David, we don't talk a whole lot late night TV, but we might as well when it comes to the debut of Jimmy Fallon. He took over for Jay Leno on The Tonight Show. Officially, according to numbers, how did he do?
Well, keep in mind it was aired in a special midnight time period after a really successful night of Olympics coverage. But he averaged 11.31 million viewers. In comparison, Leno's farewell was 14.64 million, and Conan's debut a few years ago was 9.2 million.
Okay, so he did better than Conan, but he didn't quite match when Leno signed off, even though he got a plum time slot.
Right. I believe that is Leno's last farewell, not his previous farewell.
Yeah. Well, either way. Well, the question is whether that truly is his last farewell, because there are some people that are thinking that he'll be back. I don't know. I haven't watched The Tonight Show in quite a while. Every once in a while, I might be up late enough to where I catch 5 seconds of the monologue and then click off the TV and go to bed. So I don't know. Jimmy Fallon brings something else to it. He's taken the show back to New York. He's making a younger look to it, but I
gotta tell you, that Brian Williams,
the Brian Williams rap,
Rapper's Paradise or whatever,
yeah,
that was gold.
Yeah. So he's going to have good moments. The question is whether he can be consistent at it. I think that's the question. We'll stick with NBC here, and they have attempted, David, to bring back former Will and Grace star Sean Hayes earlier this season. That show stunk. Now they're going to try with another alum of that same show. Debra Messing, what's she going to be in?
they are going to put her in an NBC drama called Mysteries of Laura, based on the Spanish show called Los Misterios de Laura. It's from Arrow producer Greg Berlanti. It follows life and relationships of a female homicide detective who can handle murderous criminals, but not her hell-raising twin children.
So basically, we've got a private detective with family problems.
That's what it sounds like. I probably won't watch it.
Because of doing due diligence, I'll probably watch the premiere, but I'm not holding out high hopes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't know. And then again, when it comes to Debra Messing, I've never been that big of a fan of hers anyway. David, we'll continue with you to ABC, though. Apparently, there's a new show entitled Selfie because, you've got to create a show about people taking pictures of themselves. Tell us what you know about the show and who's going to star in it.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting. Suburgatory creator Emily Kapnick will write and produce, but they've got the former Doctor Who and Guardians of the Galaxy star Karen Gillan playing Eliza Dooley, a self-obsessed woman more concerned with likes than being liked, but when she becomes the subject of a viral video made after a humiliating breakup, she hires a marketing expert at her company to help restore her image. This is actually based on I wrote it down somewhere.
This is the one that's loosely based upon My Fair Lady.
Yes, My Fair Lady.
I have read about this.
Yeah.
And then you said Eliza Dooley, and I went, whoa, wait a minute, I've heard about this.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're going to try and make a series out of the movie My Fair Lady.
How does that work?
Well, apparently we're going to find out.
Yeah, really. Interesting. So we're going to have the British accent and everything?
I don't know if she's going to have a British accent or her native Scottish accent, or I don't know what's going on. It sounds like I'm afraid that's what's going to be. It's going to be Crazy Ones, a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of getting.
You might be right there. Could be interesting. And they want this thing to come up next year?
That's what it looks like.
Wow.
I don't know how she's going to have time. She's in like 12 things this year.
Yeah. Hey, if you really want to be doing what you're doing, you find the time. It's the way that
it
is. Ryan, over to you, the Sci-Fi Network, and they've got a show called Warehouse 13, one of their original series, and you have found out about the future. What is that future?
Yes, the fifth and final season of Warehouse 13 is going to air or kick off on Monday night, April the 14th at 9, 8 Central, only on Sci-Fi, and I believe it's consisting of only 6 episodes to wrap this whole series up in a nice bow.
Okay, so they've given a new season, but they've said this is all you're going to get.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, when we look at, and they've had kind of middling success with this, they've tried to put out original shows, and what's the one, Defiance, that's out there? When's that supposed to come back?
This summer, actually.
So that's a summer show.
I've been digging Helix, this one that started this year.
Okay,
it's been pretty interesting.
All right. Well, I like the Sci-Fi Network, but they've been kind of inconsistent because as much as I was initially kind of very leery of them rebooting Battlestar Galactica, I think they actually did quite a good job with it until the finale.
Speaking of that, Ronald D. Moore is a producer of Helix, so.
Okay, well, that will make me actually probably go and check it out now. But then you look at Caprica, that was not very good. Blood and Chrome was not bad as a mini series or a made-for-TV movie kind of thing, but I was happy that they didn't turn it into a show. I've seen, what was the one? I want to say Apollos, but that's not correct, and I know it. Alphas. Alphas was a decent show, but it was inconsistent from one show to the next. You'd have one great show, and then you'd kind of look at it and go to the next show and go, really? I'm wanting so much more out of the Sci-Fi Network.
Yeah, Alphas was really, it had so much promise, and now it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like almost becoming the X-Men on TV, only like really good Claremont era X-Men.
Yeah.
Alphas had some really cool concepts, but like the dialogue was trash. The pacing was trash for the most part.
I'm Dave. I'm going to poo-poo on it. I'm just kidding.
Well, again, don't forget, this is the guy that get warm and fuzzies off of things that get less than 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's true.
So we figured out Dave's niche.
Things that aren't bad?
No, my niche is I'm Josh when Josh isn't there.
Got it.
By the way, we wish Josh to get better. He was feeling a bit under the weather today, so hopefully he'll be getting better and we'll be able to find out more from him. Speaking of finding out more from you, Ryan, how can we find out more from you?
Go to facebook.com/therpm show, or you can find me on Facebook at Ryan Matthews.
And Ryan, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking with you 1 week from today, my friend.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Thank you for having the show. You guys take care.
We'll do it. Dave, how can we find you if we want to get more information from you, sir?
You can find my comedy sketches and web series on maladjusted.tv.
Very cool. Talk to you 1 week from today, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right. Jeff, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Steve.
Hope you enjoy the Lego movie.
I'm pretty sure I will.
I get the funny feeling you will. Coming up here, if you're listening Saturday morning, welcome to our new show, The Joe Lockett Show, otherwise known as Lock It In. And, of course, we go from there and talking Hoover Tactical Firearms. You've got your house inside and out, and then shop talk. If you're listening in the evening, hey, Shadow Radio is coming up right after you listen to the fastest hour in radio. Until we talk again, enjoy whatever it is that you're going to be watching.